Hey Bernd, nice to see you. Welcome to
Hey,
Ukraine.
how are you?
Happy to have you today. Can't wait to hear and see your thoughts, ideas, updates about Zion. By the way, I always see when people looking at this pre-video, and they smiling. I choose a great pick. so yeah. Did you uh, did you get a presentation? Will you share it with
Yep,
us?
absolutely. Apologies for the delay here.
Oh, it's okay. It's morning, right? At your time zone.
It is morning. It is morning.
Okay.
I just need to convert it to a PDF. Please hold the apologies. But no, I appreciate you having me on. And honestly, what a good day. What is there a reason not to smile about? I think the markets are exciting. Obviously, the innovation is exciting. We have such, I mean, an amazing. I really appreciate you guys, and I think we have heard we had a lot of viewers on, right? So it's very exciting to be here.
Thanks. We
Give me
are
one second.
also excited because there are so much speakers with such a different topics. So it's from simple community things to difficult developers things topics. So it's very cool. And I advise all the audience, if you missed some pitch, so come back and look all of them because all of them are interested. Oh,
Awesome,
so
beautiful.
the stage is yours. You have 20 minutes. Please welcome.
Thank you, Ivan, and thank you to the entire Incrypted team. Thank you to everyone listening at home, wherever you may be in the world. I do think that is something beautiful, especially about crypto, is that we are trying to break down global borders. And again, what a good reason to smile because I believe that we're succeeding in that. But without kind of further ado, it's kind of where I come into the picture and I talk about Zion. Um, so my name is Burnt Banksy. I kind of got this name about 3 years ago. I bought a Banksy art piece. I set it on fire, turned the physical into a digital NFT, sold it on OpenSea for in 2021 what was the highest average price sale on OpenSea for most of 2021. We were covered in news outlets such as CBS, Bloomberg, Forbes, The New Yorker, and very happy to be speaking with you all today. The impetus of this, of course, was this conversation with a lot of people in my life of talking about the concept of NFTs, especially back in 2021. It's so interesting to see online crypto marathon 2024. But back in 2021, NFTs were not what they were now. Back in the day, people would have a lot of punks, and that would not be as big of a flex that it is now. But with that being said, a lot of my friends and family were, kind of talking to me and saying, "Well, if it's not in my living room, if it's not on my walls, it's not art. There's no value to it." And so, to me, taking something that quote unquote had value, which was this, this Banksy art piece that had previously sold in a Sotheby's auction for about $90,000. Taking something that had value, we had the certificate, and then if anyone can actually see the actual piece, the piece is it's entitled Morons. It's about an English auction, and on the actual piece of art, it says, "I can't believe you morons actually buy this shit," which I found to be perfect, especially as we were kind of doing this kind of NFT stuff. But suffice to say, we have been in crypto for quite some time, probably about 8 years at this point, full time. Um, and with that being said, wanting to literally spark the conversation of going over to retail. And it worked. The NFT ended up selling for $400,000. We're in the Wikipedia for the word NFT today. We've done a lot to kind of progress the NFT, whether it be community or standards or infrastructure. But with this kind of main goal of always wanting to bring crypto um, to the mainstream. And everything that I would say that we try to do is to kind of go for this. And so, with that being said, we're extremely excited actually to be announcing the recent fundraise for Zion. We announced a $25 million Series A fundraise with some amazing partners and people that I would consider friends, such as Multicoin Capital, Golden Tree, Animoca, Mechanism, Spartan, Figment. you name it. A lot of these people have been here for many, many years and for many, many more years to come, um, with the goal of making crypto completely disappear. And so right now we have a test net going live with about 2 million kind of active on-chain accounts. Notice that I don't say wallets, and we can get into that later. About 30 million transactions processed by this test net, an ecosystem that's growing very, very rapidly of over 200 projects. But with the end goal of just trying to make crypto completely disappear. And what does that mean and why? And I'm sure a lot of people sitting here in the audience can understand there's a big problem in crypto. Everything is extremely siloed. There are immense, immense large barriers to entry, not only for developers, but for users, right? There's, bridging. You need to know the concepts of wallets. You need to understand, you need to understand which links to click, which links not to click to avoid getting drained, which products are real, which one has a mistyped L so that you don't lose everything. Also, as many of you may know, and I imagine a lot of conversations will come up on this, is this concept of a fragmented ecosystem, fragmented stacks, fragmented standards. It's that typical, it's that typical meme, if anyone's seen it, where there's 14 standards. Let's build one to make one, to make an all-encompassing one, and now we have 15 standards. And then moreover, right, an immense amount of onboarding and interaction complexities, which, for those of you who are probably sitting in the audience, have, everyone here pretty much had to go through it at some point. But let's dive into a little bit more about XION, and we talk about this concept of generalized abstraction. And so, as I mentioned, right, the main goal is to completely abstract everything away, whether that be accounts, being able to really not need a wallet anymore, signatures. At this point, since everything's a smart contract account, we're actually able to use the signatures of anything, whether that be JWT, JSON token, or MetaMask, or Phantom or Solana wallets, or any wallets. We can use a signature for that. Chain abstraction, which kind of goes into this aspect of interoperability. We don't believe that the end user should see gas or really need to understand that for payments. Everything will be done in USDC or dollars or euros, kind of depending where we want to go, and then on any device possible. And so when we kind of talk about this aspect, you look at this, you look at what happens when you have a lot on a smart contract level rather than something like a protocol level, right? And this is something that a lot of people have done very, very well. And I think with looking at the left side, which is Ethereum, you have the bundlers, the paymasters, the signers, the key managements, the accounts, the modules, the registries, and then you get to the wallets, and then you get to the dApps. And I think for us, there's no real excuse for this anymore. And I think we're aiming to get a lot better. But the idea of making everything on a protocol level so that there's not this especially if you look at key management, that's something that shouldn't really be needed by a lot of people. But then as we take that, right, and we take this perspective of we saying, hey, everything's a smart contract. There are no more EOAs. Everything's a smart contract account. You then effectively get this really, really interesting mix, what we call abstracted interoperability, or what a lot of people are seeing as chain abstraction, which is saying we have a smart contract on, let's say, XION, we have a smart contract on, say, Solana, we have a smart contract account on, say, Base, and then being able to say, act as kind of mirroring chains to each other, since it's not a very similar flow as before. The idea is to go smart contract to smart contract. And what this looks like in an omni-chain environment is exactly what we said, right? And I think I have always given this kind of example where I want someone to be going on friend tech on Base, which is just an internet application, using whatever funds or anything that they had there without having to switch or anything, going to something like a step in on Solana and being able to kind of participate and go there, and not having to go through these complexities of saying, okay, well, I need to move my funds from Base over to then some swap, and then swap that for Solana, and then use that Solana to then buy the step and shoes. It should just be one, and I think the kind of the word around intent got us to a great position here, but I think there's a lot to be desired on kind of the UX level. And I think when you think about XION, that is where a lot of our innovation kind of comes in. And so what we're aiming to do, is linking many user accounts across many different, against many different blockchains, having, of course, unique identifiers, etc. But then being able to not necessarily need this one point of whether that be entry, failure, what have you. Just being able to use crypto very similar to the internet without needing these kind of barriers to entry. And we are very, very well on our way with this, right? So if anyone's kind of been keeping up with our Twitter, we had IBC over to Objective through Nomos. And this was an interesting one. This is our actual first use case of this, where you were able to use the Talus NFT marketplace, which is deployed on Objective through XION. And you would have absolutely no idea you would ever interact with a blockchain, let alone one blockchain. You would have no idea you would have been interacting with two blockchains. And so extremely, extremely quickly, we then decided to kind of pedal to the metal on this and, really go for scale on this, right? And so we also announced that we had done something very similar for BNB chain with Toki, working very closely with Saga for the chainlets on this aspect of that. Avalanche via landslide network, and then something also that kind of missed this was also Picasso allowing us to do this to Solana, again kind of facilitating that early example that I had given. And kind of going into that, our ecosystem is extremely, extremely, extremely rapidly growing. So much to say, as we've already updated this graphic since the time that I made it. But suffice to say, we have incredible, incredible, incredible teams working on incredible, complicated problems here. And I think as we relate to ecosystem and as we relate to where we are in the ecosystem, projects that we work with, I think one thing that kind of brings everything together is this kind of goal of an abstracted future. I think you can ask anyone on this list here that we've been working with for many, 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 many years on exactly what we're trying to do. And I think everyone here would tell you that we are looking to bring crypto to the mainstream. And we have had such super, super, super exciting results. Kind of with this one of them I'll kind of bring up right now, which would be EarnOS, which is a launch that we had done, I believe, 2 weeks ago. Is a questing platform for Web2. You would never understand that there's a wallet at all. And it allows us to actually work with incredible partners, such as they've been working with Uber, Uber, North Face, Sunglass Hut, Baskin Robbins. Saw a 150% increase for Sunglasses Hut's follow account, and then I believe a 9,000% increase in their user engagement. And so, if anyone has time, obviously, naturally check it out. And it is extremely, extremely exciting. That we're excited to, effectively kind of where we bring this is, I like to say that we're the AWS of Web3. We stay here on this kind of StreamYard app, and I have no idea where it's hosted. I have no idea. I have no idea where this conference is being hosted, and it shouldn't matter to me, right? It needs to be in the back end. It needs to be unseen but powering. And I think when we think about XION and we think about where we are in the process of what we're building, it is extremely, extremely, extremely incredible to really understand how we have done this. And I'll go into a little bit more of the technicals and kind of this appendix aspect here. But as we kind of talk about ways in which we can fully kind of take this completely, call it like a gas-free approach. Being able to pay in any token and then having it obviously kind of automatically swapped to XION. And I think this is like one of the main aspects of our fee abstraction. And I think the way that we look at it as it relates to applications deploying on us is there's two types. And the easiest way to kind of break it down is there is, I guess three, right? There's free transactions, which is then kind of this fee sponsoring aspect. And then these things like platform send, which would be, if I'm sending you something, being able to kind of have two aspects: fee sponsoring, which you've probably seen before, which is a developer will pay on behalf of the user or will pay on behalf of the developer. And then there's kind of this aspect which more so mimics Web 2 on a protocol level, which is, this kind of, this kind of intertransaction gas fee, which of course still denominated in USDC, still denominated in dollars, we're able to say, okay, this is $100. 99.5 goes to goes to the seller. The rest goes to whatever chain it's on, probably in fees, and then the 0.0001 cent goes to Zion. And so the way that we're able to kind of hit this background role is saying, hey, any token, no matter it's ETH, whether it's Solana, whether it's BNB, any token can be used. Anything is denominated in USDC, which also allows us to use credit card. And I think kind of going back to this kind of larger slide of saying AWS of Web3, the idea is to be silent. And I think looking at where we are and the idea of being silent is extremely, extremely powerful, because we need to be in a position in this industry where products can actually thrive. And I think you look at the top 100 right now, it's all infrastructure. And I think where we are in this kind of current cycle, especially with memes and everything like that, is this focus of infrastructure. And I believe in this current environment, right, we have this chicken and egg of, well, there's no users because there's no products, and there's no products because there are no users. And we believe that the catalyst event to this is creating a total addressable market for products to exist, to stay in the background, to say, work the way that you want, increase the total addressable market. Because right now, as an industry, if you want to be a product in this industry, your total addressable market is the size of MetaMask or Phantom, or the combination of the two major wallets probably gives you a very good indication of the total addressable market that you as a product have in this industry. And that's not viable, right? And like, I think we mimic the adoption curves and the adoption timelines, I would say, of of Web2, or sorry, of the internet, which I find to be pretty shameful, as the internet required hardware and we don't. And I think for us, there are immense frictions, there are immense barriers to entry, and there is enough of fraudulent behavior as well. But I think as you see it, as it is in the industry, the future will be silent in a way, very similarly to how when I'm interacting on the internet, I'm not saying, oh, I'm in Web 2, I'm on the web. And I think very, very, very soon, you're going to be seeing the exact same thing, where you're not going to know if you're interacting with a Web 3 application or Web 2 application. And then eventually, it's just not going to matter. So I will kind of lead it off that. Obviously, please, everyone, stay in touch. I also go to the Discord a lot. Obviously, I'm there talking very frequently. Please stay up to date on Twitter. Burnt Zion. Get a chance to read our docs, read the white paper if you want kind of more of a technical deep dive, and then explore the ecosystem. There is a lot to play with. There is a lot to do. You don't need to download any wallets. You don't need to onboard or bridge any ETH or anything. You can just start using applications, and we're very excited for that. So, again, thank you to the Incrypted team. I really appreciate you guys having me on. What an incredible venue, what incredible setup. This has been awesome, Ivan, and I really appreciate the time.
Thank you so much. I guess you found your community here in Ukraine, because lots of comments that Zion execute.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
So you burned the community, burned the audience. So it was a great presentation. Very cool ideas and thoughts behind Zion. I'm happy to hear it from you today, and I hope someday that you will visit Ukraine and we will meet it in person, because I do believe that crypto is a person behind the project. So it's all about the people, despite the fact
Always.
that we are moving to AI and all those things. But people is first, I guess. And I'm happy to have you today. Thank you, and have a good day.